Hi everybody, this is Ingi from Tarot Ingi, and we're going to do another pick a card today. We're going to do spirit guide reading, and we are going to have a look at your most evolved guide and tune in to the guidance. And I'm going to use my tarot cards, my oracle cards. We'll see what happens. Okay, pile one. So I got more freedom coming in for you, pile one. You see what shows up in the cards, but they showed me you spreading your wings. So I want the guide to show up in the 8th position. So when you do a reading and you are tuning in on a guide, the other position is where the guide will show up. If you're doing a romance reading, the 8th position in the Celtic Cross is where the soulmate often shows up. So, but also the if the guide has been with you a very long time, like if you have the same guide in childhood, we'll see that as well. We look at the 4th position with the 8th position. We can compare because your childhood guide often shows up in the 4th position. So we also gonna have a look at the 3rd position, which is another placement for guides to show up. Okay, so pile one. I'm still getting the bird spreading your wings, more freedom. Some of you could have had some heartache. Maybe you felt that, yeah, someone cut you down, someone have been a bit hard on you, and they really maybe dismissed you. Maybe they thought, oh, like you had something to offer and they just kind of shut you out. They say for some of you to change your job. For some of you where you are now, and this is for those of you who know that where you are is very toxic. If you are somewhere where it's very, very toxic, they say start looking at changes in your job or ways to make things a little bit easier in your job. There is a competitor to where you are now. So for those of you who have had struggles with work, they're basically saying there is a competitive company or a place where you can work that is almost in direct competition to where you are now, where you can actually, everything you've learned, you can go there. Because I feel like for some of you, you really, yes, now I'm getting 8 of Wands, which is, you may be feeling very flighty, like ready to just spread your wings. And there is more freedom. You are very much a free spirit. And I do get 7 of Swords in the 4th position. So I think you learned from an early age to be quite independent, be a free thinker, to not put up with so much nasty behavior. Because I do feel like you're gonna, maybe for some of you, a lot of you, I feel like you've outgrown where you are. You get 3 of Wands, so you could feel really just like boxed in at the moment. King of Swords, yeah, you are very capable. And I feel like you see things exactly for what it is. And if someone has cut you down or tried to diminish your role, I feel like they're saying, yeah, you might have not 100% let that pass. Like it's likely for a lot of you, you're just gonna be like, no, I don't have to accept this. Interestingly, in the 8th position here, we get Ace of Cups. So what I feel like is some of what you are dealing with is old programming, because I feel like there were situations in your past where you had to be you had to just cut. You had to make a lot of cuts. However, and I think that really worked for you. However, with Ace of Cups, remember we got 7 of Swords in 4th, and we have, so it's very easy for you to just want to escape a situation. We get Ace of Cups in your guide's position. So that could be that you're actually being guided to not to make such an emotional decision, to try to sit with it for a little bit. We'll see what shows up. Hangman, yeah, you get to just sit with it a little bit. You could have old programming running this, and maybe you are looking for other ways, other jobs, other moves that you can make. But they say also just think a little bit about the pros and the cons. Take a step back and look at it very detached. Let's see what the final card, the High Priestess. a lot of you are very psychic, you are very intuitive, so you feel everything. Like some of you might even be able to sense people's thinking, and like you can see the hidden agenda, and I think you've done that for a long time. So it could be that your guides, your spiritual team, they're able to speak to you through your emotions, but other people's emotions are really affecting you. So they're basically saying to try and just be a little bit more detached from all the different messages you're getting from people around you. So for some of you, I'm just going to have a look here what showed up the most. Some of you have a message. You have actually a spiritual message. Some of you have a spiritual message that you will work with. And that message, I feel like it's communication. It could be how you lead and guide people. It's very intuitive. And I feel like you do it in a way that it seems like almost like magic. And then you don't like it when it becomes clumsy and unintuitive. And I feel like maybe people around you are not as intuitive as what you are, and they do things in very clumsy ways. And it doesn't make a lot of sense a lot of the time. So I feel like what your guys are saying is you need your own project. You need something where you can be in charge, and you can make the decisions, whether or not you decide to completely leave where you are, or if you're going to have a side project. But it seems like a project where you can be in charge, where you get to direct things, and you get to be the one that decides the decisions. So there's something you're going to be doing that's going to be very, very successful, but you get to make the intuitive decisions that you have to make, that you know that would be great for you. What they're saying is to add a bit more meditation and listening to the inner voice, because with the High Priestess, and especially the Hangman came just before, it is the more you listen, the more you're gonna be provided with the answers. But it's almost like you have maybe not listened as much as you could, because I'm getting, how many threes did I get? I got double 3, and and one of them was a Hangman. It could be that you saw something and you acted on it, but there is an answer to your prayers that is coming, but maybe it hasn't arrived just yet. So they say don't give up hope. So I'm going to ask about that. When will this answer to your prayer arrive? Oh, that just flew out. 7. Could be in a week's time. In a week's time, you get the answer to your prayer. Like you will actually get a. But I also feel like it's you might have to dig your heels in a little bit here. But it looks like you will get a wish come true here in pile 1. So let's have a look more at your guide. What does your guide look like? So I want to just tune into pile 1. Can you show me, please? For the collective, the guide, the most evolved guide here for pile 1. They will be obviously different for everyone, but we see if we can get a collective message. So I'm getting, the eyes are on you and the spotlight is on you. So I feel like you're very much a main character person, certainly from your guide's perspective. They have never taken their eyes off you. If you have felt like they have, they're saying they have not. So they have never taken their eyes off you. I feel a feminine guide here coming in. So very connected to your soul. Some of you have had fight and flight. Some of you could be very flighty. You get Maria Magdalena, Sacred Marriage. So some of you could be dealing with, you have a very... you have a guide that really believes in you, gives an ability, because I got this beautiful feminine guide, but then I'm getting Apollo, divine messages. So they have been communicating with you more than you realize, okay? They know that you can hear them. They know that you can hear more of what they have to say. Don't be afraid of the answer, because you can change the outcome. So if you feel like this is not what I wanted to hear, well, they will help adjust things for you, so you do get more of what you want. Remember, we got the 9 of Cups. Okay. Show me here for pile 1. Yes. No more hiding. No more hiding from your guides, I feel. I feel like some of you could have hidden from your guides. Believe in yourself. This is for many of you, you have a spiritual team of both feminine and masculine energies, but it's a lot of feminine energy coming in now. We also saw that in the High Priestess and in the Ace of Cups, which means it will be a lot easier for you to express yourself soulfully. Okay, so in what area are they helping you with? Emotionally, they're helping you deal with your emotions, because some of you could have been very emotionally dealing with things that could have been, yes, they're just trying to help you stay calm and not get really heightened emotionally. They're trying to kind of bring you to an equilibrium emotionally. They want you to accept heaven's help. So maybe you struggle a lot on your own dealing with things. Especially when it comes to other people's attitudes that could have been difficult for you at certain intervals. They're helping you with having faith that everything will work out. Okay, so I feel like there's something to do with your gifts and abilities here. Can I get a card for gifts and abilities? So ready, set, go. So there is something that you always wanted to do, that you wanted to be able to achieve, learn and master. And they say that there's a new chapter opening for you where you will learn it. You will learn a new skill. When it feels like, for many of you, it could be a spiritual one. Something that you prayed about, but maybe you felt it's unattainable. So getting the Star with Hierophant. We also got Sacred Marriage. So for some of you, you're dealing with healing a relationship or in a relationship, but the Hierophant also speaks of your discipline and your devotion and your faith. And then we get the Star, which is healing. So for some of you, you are healing or working with healing in any kind of capacity. So can I get a card for healing, please? And also I feel like it's futuristic. There's something coming that is very futuristic here in pile 1. So I'm getting, you're gonna, not just are you gonna develop your gift, you're gonna share your gift. And your guides are helping you with expanding of your consciousness, because it's bigger than you think right now. Like you think, you maybe you put it a little bit in a box, and it's kind of getting, the box is not really containing it, so it's bigger. Your gifts, your dream, your it's almost going to be like something you thought was impossible, you realize it's actually very possible. So I want a card for that. That's just flew out. So receive. I feel like it's something you're going to receive. It's your guides, and I feel like it's even bigger than your guides. It's possibly all the way to source even. You're going to receive some kind of ability or gift. Some of you, it's what you're saying. It's like some kind of message, spiritual message, or even just speaking in a way that is incredibly enlightening and high vibrationally. For others, it is, I feel like you're going to guide other people, and for others, it has to do with healing. A lot of you work with synchronicity. You get a lot of messages through synchronicity. Some of you will work more with your own ideas and projects, as I saw also in the tarot cards. I feel guided to actually pick up my runes as well, but first have a look in this deck. Oh, that's just... something is coming full circle, I feel, here in pile 1. Some of you have been in the dark for a while. Some of you might have felt very abandoned by somebody. Maybe you felt, like I said, left out, left behind. Maybe you felt like you've been in a cloud. You haven't really worked out what is going on. It's been very, very confusing times, very uncertain times. But they do say that things are about to make a lot more sense soon. So I want to look in my runes as well. Yeah, everything is about to get better soon. I'm getting Ingus with Sovelo, and at the top I'm getting Barkana with Dargas. I do feel like your feminine guide has protected you and even helped you create a new timeline. So if something has been very limited, I feel like, especially when it comes to beliefs and programs, they're trying to really help shift the timeline for you, so you get to see a better timeline that you can manifest for yourself. Okay, what they're saying is, for some of you, you focused on something that was not for your highest good. There was something that wasn't for your highest good, and they helped remove that timeline and bring you in another timeline that is going to be better. So again, I'm getting there's something here about being extremely beautiful, or there's something about you that's very, very beautiful. It could be that your soul is really shining through, that there is something with your energy that is just extremely beautiful. And that could evoke a lot of emotions in others. But it's something about the way you restrain yourself as well, and give of yourself in a really beautiful way, in a really honorable way. They say it's you've been protected, I feel. So you have been protected, I do see that for you. And it's, maybe you felt like you were a little bit out in the cold, but they're saying you were protected. So it's and they also wanted to take the time where you were a little bit isolated to bring you in new ideas and new paradigms. So what was the main issue here? What was the main issue? Maybe not feeling that you were 100% fitting in. Mountain. So as you can see, there's a bit of a path ahead here. So it's almost like they set the path for you so you could start ascending. But with that path forward, you see these monks, these spiritual beings. With that path ahead, there had to be some limits as well, or you wouldn't find your path if there were no limits, you know. So, but that path made you very beautiful and made you very aligned, and that beauty, with that beauty needs new boundaries as well. So can I get a card for that? They're just the right people coming in, people that you are aligned with, people that are light-hearted, people that are fun and that understands your way of being, your communication, your quirkiness, They were bringing you in friendships, and I do see a friendship here that is beautiful. So like you're vibrating on the same level. And a lot of people here, I feel, are you're very interested in topics that are more esoteric. That they're showing me that. And it's going to be very educational. It's going to be very stimulating. It's going to be very, very stimulating. It's going to be incredibly interesting to you. And you are moving forward more like faster than you think, but some of you have definitely felt a bit stuck and misunderstood, and almost like I felt like people didn't see you accurately. They saw you, they didn't see you for who you truly are. I feel like for a lot of you, you have a very creative side that's very poetic, musical, creative, and they do see that the more you go into that energy, the more you will blossom. I'm getting this beautiful music energy here. I feel like but I feel like it's also a symbol of your vibration as well. And when you find your own rhythm, your own vibration, your own soul essence, and again that will come through meditation. It will be just an amazing paradigm shift in your life overall. That's what they're saying here in pile 1. Okay, pile 1, I love you so much and I wish you all the best. Okay, pile 2. Okay, so your guides are helping you with being, the essence of your being, to be comfortable in your own skin, to see your own beauty, to live in your own fairy tale. That's what they're saying. I'm going to start with the tarot. And the guides will show up in the 3rd, 4th and 8th position specifically. And we can see by comparing the 4th and the 8th position whether or not you have the same guide from childhood or not. So let's have a look here in pile 2. Sometimes they say you get aha moments. They help you to have realization. They are bringing you into a very light-hearted, good energy that's very beautiful. Or straight away getting a lot of cups. You get King of Cups, Page of Cups. So they're helping you also with flow. And when you get a lot of cups, it's straight away very peaceful energy. So it's a very peaceful energy around you. So you have a guide that is, it was a guide that was extremely extremely involved, I guess you could say, in your life as a child. So it could have been your imaginary friend that felt completely real. That's what they're saying. So they're saying there is a couple of characters in your life that trigger certain wounds in you. And these wounds, they are basically the part of yourself that you need to pay a bit more attention to. So it's the part of you that feel very like it's a part of you that maybe you neglected a little bit. I'm getting Page of Cups in crossing. So Page of Cups, when it's crossing, it can be that you're very sensitive, but maybe you have ignored your own sensitivities, because it's been you know, maybe not even having the tools to deal with the sensitivity. But your guide is really there to help you. But I also feel like your guide has shielded you as well. So it could be your guide has shielded you from maybe some harsher realities of life. There is a new chapter in your life coming, and there is a choice to be made here. And they're saying that having to make a choice, maybe you feel like that it's an overwhelming choice, but that part of you that feels overwhelmed and feel like life is maybe a little bit out of control sometimes, they're saying is that's a part of you that you need to pay attention to. So there's a part of you that you neglected. They want you to go in and look at that part of you, and that's a part of you that feels frightened, that feels maybe that life is a bit out of control, that you can't have a voice as well. So what they're saying is that a lot of the times you have things to say and you don't say it for whatever reason. And that, because maybe it almost feels like things just kind of, it just gets taken by the flow of everything. So maybe it just feels like, yeah, they've taken away, you guys have really protected you from even your own thinking. So it could be that maybe your own thinking took you into a loop, and they even have removed that loop just to make it as easy for you as possible. So, and why is that? So we got that, with they say they want to try and purify you, but also make your life really simple and easy for some reason. They don't want to complicate things for you right now. Right now things will be quite easy. The right decision will be made. It will be success. But you don't have to think about it too much, because I feel like they are taking care of things for you now. And the reason they do that, the reason they take care of things, because something happened that could have been felt very unfair. And they are trying to just, instead of thinking about it too much, they're almost like giving you this acceptance instead. And it's almost like as soon as you just pay a little bit more attention to your own inner life, it doesn't even have to be just like massively so. They just say just a little bit more inwardly, it straight away starts healing and resolving. Because I feel like a lot of it has been dealt with and healed and resolved already. So can I have a look at who your guide is? So this guide this is something, what's happening now, I feel like it's something that could be predestined. And they're saying there's always enough. This just flew out. There's always enough. So it's going to be, like I said, it's not going to be a major, like maybe it looks difficult. Maybe there's something that's playing on your mind that looks difficult, but they're saying there's going to be a lot of answers, a lot of solutions, and there's going to be plenty of options and ways forward. That's what they're saying. Okay. So who's a collective? We get the guy that speaks for the collective here for pile 2. There's a lot of guides here that wants to just make their presence known. A lot of them I feel like have been with you since childhood. So for a lot of you, you have the same guide. It's a very childlike energy coming through, very innocent. So for those of you who have to make a decision, they're going to help you make the right decision. And I'm also, so this is, it says basically Wise Decision by Athena, and I'm getting thoughts with Divine Masculine. So it's almost like a Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine. It feels like Divine Parents, you know, it's, we have Divine Parents. It's like Odin and Frigg, basically. Divine Father and Divine Mother. That's what it felt like, Source almost, like. When I was tuning in, it felt like the guides were being guided by Source directly, and almost like bypassing the guides and just straight to you. So it feels like this is almost like you're connecting to Source directly here. And that's why it feels like a lot of the maybe the thinking about things have just been removed, and you're just directly channeling Source energy. That's what it looks like here for pile 2. So for some of you, maybe you have felt a little bit like a pushover in the past, But they're showing me with the source, with so much source energy, it's easy to stand your ground because you're in a very grounded energy anyway. Source is very grounded. So you're in this beautiful grounded energy anyway. So you can actually stand your ground with a big smile on your face. That's what they're showing me. And that's also what it felt like, because there were no swords showing up. So there was no like conflicts there. There was just, yeah, you can stand your ground, but you can be happy. So it doesn't have to be conflict. It doesn't have to be an argument. Okay. Okay. Yeah, simplify your life. Just existing. There's going to be a lot of healing of your inner life, but it's not going to be traumatic. It's going to be very simple. This is a very simple energy, and it's simple because it's beautiful, and it's actually very evolved. That's why it is simple. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be complicated. Accept heaven's help and morning affirmations. It could be that you just have to affirm that everything is good, everything's going great. They're saying you're going to be brave. And yes. So there's something that I feel like this is very much a something that's happening for some of you, or maybe a lot of you here in part 2, that is predestined. So you are kind of integrating something that it's a predestined thing. So it's just going through the emotions, and what you are actually learning is to stay still within yourself as you're going through the process of everything that's happening. There is a community as well for you, and it is a community and that is very supportive. But I also feel like they have no clue, really. Like, this is something, what you're going through now is something where you have to be, it's something that only you really understand. So people can maybe be there, but will they ever fully understand? Maybe they will, maybe they won't. It's, your lesson, I feel like, is to enjoy and be present in the moment. I feel for some of you, you're asking questions sort of like why, and what will be the best option for you, and what will take care of the situation. So what I'm seeing here is one thing that will help you is to protect your own energy. So it could be for some of you here that in the past, or maybe even currently, it has been difficult to protect your energy, and the whole lesson is to protect your own energy. That has been the lesson. That is one of the major lessons currently. Maybe you have been in waiting mode. Maybe there's been something that you've been waiting for. Maybe you feel like other people are kind of stepping in your place and kind of taking what's yours. That's what they're saying. There's plenty for you as well. Your higher self is very joyful. What you're going through here on a 3D level could be that you're feeling impatient about what's happening. Like, it is slow moving energy currently for some. They're saying that you have to gain, there's some control and power you're going to take in your life. Even if that means stepping on someone's toe. When I say stepping on someone's toe, it could be that if someone doesn't like you taking control and power, for whoever that is, and maybe you already shrunk yourself to not, upset somebody, or they're saying you're gonna become very strong in your own energy, and it's gonna surprise a lot of people. It's almost like you're just gonna take the next step in your evolution. And Tivas. It's something that's yours by divine right, that is very perfect for you, that you're going to be doing. And you're not going to wait for someone to give you permission. There's something that is meant for you by divine right, something that is in your destiny. And I also feel like you're being guided here by divine Father, Heavenly Father, that is protecting you through this phase in your life. Okay, can I get this phase in your life? What is this? This is about you becoming authentic. You see actors here on stage. It's like, who is the person behind the mask? That's, you know, who's the person behind the mask? Who is the actor behind all the characters you play? Lifetime after lifetime. That's the journey. That is what your guides are helping you with. And that is that's very healing as well. You're going to learn to be very honest with yourself, they're saying. And not be so afraid of disappointing somebody, because it could have been a fear of disappointing someone. And something could have felt like, or maybe something has been looked upon as a major problem that is actually much more contained than what you realize. That's what they're saying. So something is more contained than what you think right now. So it's more contained and more under control than you realize. So maybe something seems more dramatic than what it is. Okay, so it is a path forward, and that path is going to be very obvious, and it's just one step at a time, all the way to the top. So it's actually less dramatic. Like, you can see the fire here. It's actually contained, the fire, but everyone's freaking out about it. But it's a path forward, straight to the top. And what's the main lessons? We know there are a few lessons here about being authentic, being honest with yourself, being true to yourself, knowing who you are. Is there any other lessons here for pile 2? Boundaries. I'm getting ship, and I'm also getting blessings. So something that seems incredibly daunting right now can be in the future seem like, if you look back, it could be like, hang on, was actually quite a blessing, because there's this ship. It's a boundary, but look how big the ship is. So it's like a ship that is protecting you. So it is a beautiful boundary of protection around you. So how is your guide, your main guide, communicating with you? Pile 2. If you have any questions to your guide, ask those questions. It's almost there's some inheritance coming for some. It could be spiritual inheritance, but it could also be an actual inheritance. Something is being passed down. It could be your guide is passing something down to you. But there is some knowledge, and it's very, very evolved knowledge getting passed down. That is for you to safeguard almost, or save or keep. So something is being passed down from your guide, as you can see here. Something maybe that's been hidden away again. I feel like it has something to do with your soul's origin. There's some answers coming that's very, very deep. It could also be something about your origins, some answers about your past that they're helping you with here in pile 2. Is there any final message? There seems to be union here as well. That is very loving and romantic and beautiful. So for some of you, I feel like it's a lot of healing in a relationship, a lot of joy in relationship. For those of you who are not on that journey, it could just be that the different aspects of you is coming together really beautifully as well. Okay, pile 2, I love you so much and I wish you all the best. Pile 3. Let's tune in on pile 3. Okay, so let's have a look at the collective of pile 3, please. We get pile 3. This is an ancient energy coming through here. Very, very old energy. So just quickly having a look here. Yeah, so some of you are going through a bit of a dark night of the soul. So you have a very evolved guide stepping in here to help you. And this guide is taking care of you very much in a very maternal, loving way. It's how you're thinking about something that's causing the agony right now, they're saying. You have more time to work this out than you realize. So you just have to be patient, they're saying. It could be very hard for you to deal with people right now. It could be that you just want to push people away right now. I'm getting King of Cups crossing Wheel of Fortunes. It could be that you're feeling there's something stopping you from your destiny. There's something blocking you from moving forward. That could be, but I feel like that's a belief. I'm getting 9 of Swords here in outcome. And I'm getting you learn to be a little bit careful around people. I feel like you're a very guarded person. And you don't trust people at all. That's how it looks right now. So let's have a look at the guide. Have a look. It could be that you don't really trust your guide either. So let's have a look. Who's the guide I want to step in here for the collective of pile 3? Yeah, it feels like you could have racing thoughts. You could have racing thoughts. Maybe you're a little bit afraid of their guidance. Visionary. So with racing thoughts, maybe you just have so many ideas, and it's just, some of you might have a little bit of ADHD. That's for some, specific for some. So can you get a message from the guide, please? You don't have to do it all by yourself, they're saying. Beautiful change. So there is a new chapter coming. So if you felt like it's right at your fingertips, but it's still not as exactly how you want it, they're saying there is the change that you want is coming. What I'm feeling here is that your guide has to play a little bit of that 5D chess game with you, because it's almost like you are actually a healer. But maybe you have thoughts and worrying thoughts that's blocking a little bit of that coming through. So your guides they always constantly have to think of other ways of bringing you a message without you blocking it currently. And why is it blocked? Why is it being blocked? So you could have a belief in either astrology or numerology that you're following, that you're very, very good at. But they're saying try and go and see, try and see past astrology and numerology. Like there is a divine message that can, source basically can overrule all system of synchronicity, including tarot. So if there's something you've seen in your chart or even in your numerology, maybe that you think, oh my God, I have to go through this horrible astrological thing. Don't think of it like that. See the power of your own divinity as much more powerful. But it could be, because I'm getting King Neptune here, it could be that you've been very sensitive to a belief system that is maybe tied into astrology or numerology or some kind of divination system. So they want to just see, they want to help you see past these systems, because those systems are powerful, but they're not more powerful than source. So, and sometimes we limit ourselves because we get confirmation bias, and we limit ourselves, you know, we actually limit ourselves when we start buying into thinking that thing has to be a certain way because we've seen it in a chart, for example. It could be that you are healing yourself, you're trying to work out how the world works, and you're also trying to heal yourself as well at the same time. So I'm getting Hecate here, and it says past life healings. It could be that it's past life in this lifetime as well, but I also feel like it is gifts and abilities in from the past, and maybe even old belief systems as well, that you are healing. So let's have a look. So I'm getting a lot of moon energy here. So I'm getting the moon again. So you could be very sensitive to astrological events, to the moon cycles, you could be a water pile, you could be a very emotional, sensitive soul. And for some of you, I feel like you are very maybe you're even a little bit scared of your own psychic powers as well. Okay, so how is pile 3 being guided currently? Yes. Your intuition is correct. Take action accordingly. So for some of you, you could have, for some, this is specific for some, you could have taken bad advice from someone that maybe you really looked up to. I also feel like your intuition is on point. You're very, very intuitive. And maybe you're scared of seeing bad things, negative things, but know that your guides will always help you find a better way forward, break free. It says try different ventures and experience as a way to grow and learn. So maybe you've been very stuck in a bit of a loop. They just want you to break free and see that there is a way. There's a very joyful path forward. That's very, very. I'm getting playtime with treasure chest. So there's abundance coming to you, and there's more fun as well. There's more fun coming your way. Believe in divine magic. And expect miracles. And also, I'm getting worthiness. So it could be that for some of you, you are just so used to managing things on your own. Maybe it's been really hard for you to let your guard down, to allow your guides to shift and change things for you. And maybe you feel like you need to understand everything that's happening rather than allowing and letting them take care of things. That could be the case. I want to have a look in the runes as well. Some of you could be very scared of making a mistake. So you have kind of your moral compass constantly signaling to you. And maybe you're very, very hard on yourself, like almost too much so. Like you have very strong boundaries with yourself as well, very high expectations of yourself. It could be that you have almost like unreasonably high expectations of yourself. I think you push yourself a lot, and maybe you feel like it's never good enough. You could have had a mentor that was pushing you a lot, and you're healing from that, but also that your own inner dialogue becomes more in harmony. And I also feel like your guide is more in the male energy, and is guiding you in a very common sense, straight to the point kind of way. They say you can overcome anything. There is no limit to what you can overcome, and I feel like you know that strength within you, and maybe you're a bit worried that because you do have that strength, you think I have to go through something because I have this strength that I can get through anything, so I'm gonna have some pretty full-on lessons. But they say that is a belief. That is a belief. I feel like it's been I feel like you felt like giving up a few times, but then you know you never can. You have this strength within you that you're not going to give up, but it's been tempting to. So okay, your guides are basically asked, how is your guides communicating with you? And they're showing me blindfolded, but they're giving you a key. You might not see the door, but there is a door there that you're going to go through. And you can see there's two guides there, watching you, guiding you, helping you. And if you don't see the full picture yet, rest assured they are guiding you straight to where you need to be. They are aiding you. They're aiding you. They're even helping you help someone else as well. So if you have a lot of responsibilities, they are elevating your consciousness. As you can see, she has shoes with wings, and then these are the guides. So they're helping you be the best provider that you can be, so that you can be supportive also for people depending on you as well. So I feel like the energy had to be cleared. I feel like I need to just ask for a joy, like what will give this pile joy, because it's almost like you pushed away your own joy, just to go through the motion and survive on a day-to-day. So let's have a look. What will give pile 3 joy? I get actors, and I get masquerade. But what I'm going to say about that, in this pile, I feel like in pile 2 it was more about being your true authentic self and be able to take the mask off. But here in pile 3, I feel like it's almost like you want that extra shield, so you don't want really anyone to see your inner core and be that living that authentic self that everybody can see, your every emotion and your core essence. It almost feels like in this time, in this pile, you just want to put that extra layer so you can operate in the world without having to give on that level, because it's almost like the journey you're on, it's not necessarily even about how you interact with everybody. It's more about how going within into your own soul and finding divine essence within. It's almost like you need that shield around you to have the energy to do that, to dig deep within yourself. Maybe you have a belief that you have to overgive all the time, and this extra mask that you can put on, that will give you joy, that you give yourself that permission to not having to, you can see here shouting, like that facade there, and then you see the scream underneath, like that you wish you could just not having to deal with maybe a lot of people have been prying even and asking questions, and you just want people to leave you alone so you can just live your life without having to answer so many questions or even explain so many things. Like you just want things to be a little bit easier. Like you don't want the transaction to be you constantly giving of your own divine essence, soul, and emotions. You want it to just be more, I am existing over here, you're existing over there, that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? So and even in how you're giving and receiving, you want it to be more unconditional, I feel. A bit more unconditional, more respectable. I feel like you want to be accepted for who you are without having to overgive. The overgiving could have drained you. So in what area were you overgiving? In every area. Constructing. It's like you could have been overgiving in so many areas that you felt like it was of yourself. You were giving away building blocks out of your own out of your own being, your own soul. And maybe you carried a lot of people. What was meant to be simple and easy, you ended up carrying a lot of emotional baggage. That I feel like you're going to start letting that emotional baggage go. And that process could have already started. Okay, so how is your guide, your main guide, communicating with you? I'm getting nudity, which I'm gonna take that as that they are showing you your true self to you, so that you can interact with yourself in a very honest way, but at the same time shield you so you don't have to feel so vulnerable in interacting with other people. What else? They're showing you a key. They're showing you how to be authentic with yourself. They're showing you how to shield yourself in interacting with others. And I also feel like a lot of you are having very lucid, vivid dreams. Some of you could even be astral projecting, or how you're having some kind of dream time thing going on. Maybe you need a lot of rest, a lot of sleep, but really you are healing in your sleep. You are interacting with your guides, you are restoring, you are getting soul fragments retrieval, perhaps even. I feel like you're not good at dealing with this energy here. Authority, the demands, the bullying, the pushing around, the vulnerability of having to. It's like you're already so hard on yourself. If you have an authority, a boss that is also so hard on you, it becomes like a double slap, almost. Like you're already so hard on yourself, you're getting slapped around, almost, like metaphorically speaking. You don't need someone to do that, because you're already doing that to yourself. But I feel like you're going to start spending more time with yourself, reflecting on things, and getting back your own divine essence. Where you have been overgiving, I feel like you're going to start just pulling back a lot on those energies that you've been giving, and tend to your own garden here. I get garden and tree. So especially where you have had unreasonable expectations of yourself, where you allowed people to take from you because you felt like you had to, all of those issues. And what's the answer moving forward here? Pile 3. feast. I'm getting feast. So it is interacting. They're showing you how to interact with people, so you don't get drained by other people, and how to even live in your own body, being comfortable with your own skin, and not draining your own energy by having intrusive thoughts and things like that. That is what you guys are helping you with. It could be that you're going to start making lifestyle changes. It says explore your options. It's a good time to make changes. They're just going to show you another way of living, and even how to show up in a relationship, because they're getting a soulmate relationship here at the bottom. So it's just how to live in your own truth, and create your own space, your own sacred space. And how to show up for yourself in a way that makes you really happy. That's what your guides are helping you with here in pile 3. Okay, pile 3, I love you so much, and I wish you all the best.